Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to Borderlands 3. Got another exciting video for you guys today. I have killed Mouthpiece 50 times, I almost said 500, but only 50 times on True Vault Hunter mode, Mayhem 4. And we're testing for dedicated drops. Not the dedicated drops that are like, you know, the Lucian's Call, the Roland's Call, etc. Which, by the way, we found those as a video for that if you guys are still looking for it. But we're looking for the Mayhem 4 specific dedicated drops that came out with the update of Mayhem 4. They brought out new guns and they hid them throughout the main bosses for us to find. And you cannot find it on Mayhem 1, 2, or 3, or non-Mayhem. You can only find it on Mayhem 4. It's on True Vault Hunter mode. It is a little irrelevant, but you know, why not make things harder for myself? And so far has been quite a successful series. I think we've found 2 dedicated drops, 2 of the Mayhem 4 specific dedicated drops. But on top of Mayhem 4 weapons, we are also testing who drops the most weapons, just generally most legendary weapons. The most anointed weapons is the main one, as well as class mods, artifacts, and just essentially just see who is the best boss to farm for, you know, who's easiest, who's more efficient, who's close to their fast travel stations, etc. So by the end, we know if we want anointed weapons, we go to this guy. If we want class mods, we go to this guy's artifacts, etc. Now today's test being Mouthpiece is actually a super easy boss on Mayhem 4. I don't know if it's because I've been so stacked and like making sure everything in my loadout is absolutely immaculate so that I could handle Tyreen and Troy, etc., who are super hard bosses. Now that Mouthpiece just seems easy, but personally I thought it was super easy. I never downed and it was just pretty chill. But if you guys need any assistance whatsoever, he doesn't have a shield. You will require a fire weapon because he is just a person, so he burns way easier. I use my Lucian's Call the most because it has ricochet bullets and there's the little tinks that come out running around, and which are the ones that actually do real damage. So using the Lucian's Call, getting all those crit spots actually takes out the tinks at the same time because they'll ricochet the bullets to him. You can also use a Cutsman that absolutely shreds him. My King's Call shreds him as well. My Shredder Fire, just literally anything that shoots a bunch of bullets, has fire, will work perfectly. Should also mention, for those who don't remember from the start of the game, Mouthpiece is actually on Pandora in Ascension Bluff, and you'll want to go from the fast travel station. We'll zoom out a little bit here. It's in the top right of the map. You just have to get a car, just zoom on past here. And then you'll get to, I think there's a gate just here. Oh no, there's a gate there. And you'll have to go on foot, make your way through this entire building area. It takes a while. Once you get there, you'll make your way to this here new station, and that's where you'll be able to log in and out. And then that is the fight to Mouthpiece right there. So it is a super easy farm. There is a long run for the first actual run. It takes like 5 minutes to get here, but then once you get here, you literally just run from that new station, drop down, kill him, and on repeat. Easy. Now I won't run through my entire skill tree because that takes forever, but if you guys want to pause it and have a look for yourselves just to see what skill tree I'm running, it's essentially just high damage and crit damage as much as possible, and it works pretty well for me. Now I just have a few runs showing on screen so you guys can just see how Mouthpiece works. He has like 3 immunity stages. It's essentially just try and get him done as quick as possible, otherwise his attacks get stronger and stronger and the tinks come out and they have ridiculous damage because of course the small annoying little enemies have more damage than the real bosses in this game. But yeah, check out that if you guys are interested. For the stats though, out of 50 runs on Mayhem 4 True Vault Hunter mode, Mouthpiece dropped 84 legendary weapons, which is pretty damn good. It's about the middle of all our bosses we've tested so far. I think this is number 8. Graveward is still at number 1 at 147, Tyreen at 146, and Troy at 141. Which makes it sound like he doesn't drop relatively anything, but when you consider Tyreen and Troy are 2 of the hardest boss fights in this game and can take up to or over 2 minutes each, and Graveward, he's always dropped a bunch of legendaries, but Mouthpiece is a super fast farm, so relatively you can do a whole lot more than 50 farms in the time you can do 50 farms of either of those 3. As for the anointeds, Mouthpiece dropped 19 legendary anointed weapons, which is pretty damn good. It's up there with the top 3. Troy had the absolute best at 25, Gigamind with 22, and Ty with 20. So these guys are all up there with them, which is pretty impressive considering Mouthpiece is one of the first bosses in the game and is relatively way easier. As for artifacts and class mods, Mouthpiece is definitely not your guy, unfortunately. He does drop 8 artifacts out of 50 runs, which isn't too bad. Ty is currently the winner with that at 19 artifacts, which is pretty crazy. Class mods, he barely drops any. I only got 4 out of the whole 50 runs. Gravewater is currently the best man for that. If you're looking for class mods, he dropped 16 for me out of my 50 runs on Mayhem 4. As for unsuccessful runs, Mouthpiece did have 10 runs out of the 50 that he didn't drop any legendary weapons, which doesn't sound very good. 1 in 5 is a pretty bad ratio, but when you consider how quickly you can farm him, it's actually not too bad. I honestly didn't notice until I actually wrote it down and counted them. Now, as for dedicated drops, he did already have a dedicated drop. The Mind Killer is a legendary shotgun that he dropped from the start of the game. He drops it pretty damn regularly as well. Out of the 50 runs, we got it 9 times, and it's actually not a half bad shotgun considering how often it drops. It'd probably be a fantastic shotgun if you farm Mouthpiece a few times when you're doing a playthrough to get you over like the next 5 or so levels using this legendary. It's actually a lot of fun to use as well. It's probably the main reason I've used it, as well as the pistol he drops. They're both really fun to use and have really cool like interactions in game. And then on top of that, being a melee one weapon, you'd expect it to have a charge up rate, but it actually doesn't. It shoots automatically and is actually pretty damn quick. For the fire rate's only 1.58, but considering it's a shotgun and it doesn't have a reload every time you fire a bullet, it's a pretty decent shotgun fire rate for Borderlands 3. If you guys actually use this gun regularly, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what kind of builds you guys are using for it. If there's anything that amps up the damage. I just have shotguns that are stronger than it. It's pretty much the only reason why I'm not using it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if you guys use it regularly. He does also have the Killing Word pistol, which he drops, I'm pretty sure every single time. Can't say I noticed the time he didn't drop it. It's not a legendary weapon, but it is a unique drop. It is a blue, and it's actually pretty decent, to be honest. So if you guys want one of those, just pretty much farm it once. I'm pretty sure it drops it every time. And on top of that, he does drop the Echo 2, which is the meme from the start of the game referencing the Samsung guns that used to explode. The Echo 2 is like a white grenade mod, which actually has a fair bit of damage, to be fair. But as for dedicated drops for Mayhem 4, unfortunately, out of the 50 runs on Mayhem 4, he didn't drop me a single new weapon, so I don't think there is any dedicated drops for Mayhem 4 for Mouthpiece himself. But in saying that, he is actually a pretty decent farm. I think I actually might start farming him. I very rarely did before, but now that I know he does drop a decent amount, he's super easy to kill and like super fast farm. He's actually a worthwhile boss, I reckon. Like I've done with every video in this series so far, I leave a comment pinned to the top of the comment section down below that has a full list of all the legendary weapons we got from every single run in order from Mouthpiece after Mayhem 4 True Vault Hunter Mode 50 runs. If you guys want to check that list out for yourselves, and if you guys are looking for any weapons or class mods, etc., you're struggling to get because RNG sucks, feel free to reply to that or just leave a comment down below and say, hey, I'm looking for this, I can't get it because I've been farming 1,000 times, it still hasn't dropped for me. If I got spares, I'm more than happy to send them to you. I am on PS4, by the way. If you guys are on Xbox or PC, feel free to comment down below anyway. There's heaps of people that are usually up to trade, so feel free to do that as well. But yeah, again, if I have spares, I am more than happy to send them to you because I don't need 4,000 legendaries. The only thing is, it probably takes me about 2 to 3 days to get around to all the comments because there are a bunch of them, and it takes me a while to actually send them in game because I'm just a busy guy. But of course, we'll eventually do it if I do have spares. But yeah, that is all I have for Mouthpiece. 50 kills of True Vault Hunter Mode Mayhem 4, looking for dedicated drops amongst all the named bosses in this game. This is number 8 in the series so far, I'm pretty sure, and so far pretty damn successful. If you guys found this video helpful or enjoyable at all, I'd really appreciate if you guys could smash subscribe down below. Pretty sure we just smashed through 2,800 subs today, which is absolutely crazy. We're on 700 a week ago today, which is just a phenomenal week. Thank you very much, you guys. Absolutely crazy. If you guys want to like and share the video, I'd really appreciate it as well, because that way it'll help the channel grow even more. Oh, and also if you guys want to leave a comment down below, if you guys have found a dedicated drop or think you found one at least in Borderlands 3, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. I'll go and test it. I've done that a few times before. You guys have let me know that the Rowan's Call was dropping in the Super Slaughter Star something, whatever that place is called, and that was super helpful and resulted in me being able to make a video that helped out a whole bunch of other people. So if you guys want to leave a comment down below, that would be dope. If you guys want to know how to test for dedicated drops, for Mayhem 4 we're particularly testing those ones. Those are the new weapons specifically, but if you guys want to try and find dedicated drops that are the original weapons like the Lucian's Call, the Lyuda, etc., you want to go into normal mode, not True Vault Hunter, just normal mode with no Mayhem modifiers, which reduces the amount of world drops. So if you're farming a particular boss, go farm any named boss in the game and then farm him a bunch of times, and if they drop the same weapon maybe like 3-4 times out of, I don't know, 30 runs or something like that, you're pretty much guaranteed that it is the dedicated drop, because world drops are so irregular in normal mode, no Mayhem modifiers, that you can essentially guarantee that that will be the dedicated drop. And then feel free to let us know down below, and then I'll go test it and make a video so everyone else can find out. I'll likely be busy for the next week or so making these 50 kills of named bosses on Mayhem 4, looking for the Mayhem 4 weapons. But once we've done this series, we're going to move to normal Vault Hunter mode, no Mayhem modifiers, and farm them in different places again, trying to find the dedicated drops that are just in the game already, that aren't the new weapons, just to try and find the last weapons that people haven't already found in the community, just essentially wrap all the legendaries up so I can make a whole bunch of guides for you guys so you can find all the legendaries in the game in one place. That is the end goal, at least, that I'm trying to get around about before DLC 1, which I think is December 21st, which I'll be covering as well. But yeah, other than that, apologies for the ramble. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Till then, adios.